ever experienced something that sparked a little bit of light inside of you? Do you have something that's nudging you, that's small and fiery, that could create change? Has your inner spark ever burned a little bit brighter because of something you went through? The day it happened to me 4 years ago, I was at 30,000 feet. I never thought I would talk about it. In fact, I never thought I would utter a word to anybody. I thought I would sit in my shame and let it swallow me whole. But here I am. Just before I found myself at 30,000 feet, I was waiting for the airport terminal train at an international airport in Greece. I was breathing slowly, in and out, in and out. I was squeezing my legs together so tightly, my muscles were shaking. I was doing everything I could not to draw attention to myself, but I knew it was too late. There I was on my journey home from a 7-day cruise in Greece, and my trusty tampon had failed me. I used to think my story was unrelatable and taboo, but then I read somewhere that stories can be used to empower and to humanize. So this is where my story starts. I was completely out of period products, but all I could say to myself was, just get to the plane, and you can figure it out there. So that's what I did. I got to the plane, I found my seat, and I quickly took the extra pair of leggings out of my bag, and I made my way to the stifling, hot, and cramped airplane bathroom. I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror, and the tears started. I don't know if it was hormones because I was 6 weeks postpartum, or if I had lost all of my dignity. But what I did know is that my period was relentless, and I couldn't hide in this bathroom forever. So mortified, I stripped down, I took some toilet paper, and I started cleaning up what looked like a murder scene. Realizing that one-ply toilet paper wasn't going to work, I moved on to the paper towels. I reached for one, and of course 23 came flying out all over the floor. And I nervously laughed to myself, and I thought, oh, at least they're fully stocked. I took some toilet paper, I made a makeshift pad, put it in my underwear, pulled on my leggings, and shamefully walked back to my seat. My stomach was in knots, because I knew at that moment I was going to be relying on airplane paper towels to manage my period. And it wasn't stopping just because I didn't have a tampon. Hour after hour, I made my way back to that bathroom because we all know commercial paper towels are not the most absorbent. And then finally, after 9 hours, the pilot's voice came over the loudspeaker and said, we're starting our final descent. I knew I had about an hour with my makeshift pad before I needed to change it. So I quickly got through customs, got through baggage claim, and made my way to the hotel. My story doesn't end there, though. I had 24 hours before I was going to actually make it home. So I walked into the hotel thinking they would have a gift shop. And when I walked in, I didn't see one. And my heart sunk. Actually, I was completely terrified. I walked up to the front desk and I said to the guy behind the desk, "Do you have any tampons?" As if I would be shunned and asked to leave. Of course, they did. 2 regular absorbency tampons, $4.99. 1 pack of 6 pads, $5.99. Terrified of running out again, I definitely bought more than I needed, but there I was doing the math, and it was going to cost me $40. $40 in period products just to get me home. So, with period products in hand, I confidently walked to the hotel room. It's amazing how empowering a tampon truly can be. I walked into the room, I turned on the shower, and I sunk into the hot water and the steam. I washed away the blood that had dried to my legs, and I washed away the embarrassment that came with this entire situation. Hard to believe that so much shame could come from a period, right? A normal biological function. I know I'm not the only one with a period story. There are others. Some people just think I'm crazy for sharing mine. And I know I'm not the only one that's used a makeshift pad. I'm not the first, and I will not be the last. Before all of this happened to me, I had no idea about makeshift period products. It's a hidden health crisis, actually. One that is rarely talked about. Up until it happened to me, I didn't realize how many individuals it was impacting. And they actually have a name for it. It's called period poverty. To help give you a better image of what this looks like, I'm going to ask, if you were not given a period product at the start of my story, will you please stand up? I want you all to look around. They're sharing them up here if you don't know. I want you guys to look around. These are friends. These are neighbors. These are mothers. These are daughters. These are fathers. They're educators. They're nurses. They're people within our own community that don't have access to period products or can't afford to buy them. This is our reality right here, 2 in 5. 2 in 5 individuals within our community, 2 in 5, can't afford them or don't have access to them. I want you guys to let that sink in, and then you can sit down. As I read more about period poverty, and I learned more about makeshift period products, and the fact that people were using toilet paper, paper towels, old rags, and socks so they could continue to move throughout their day, I knew something had to change because nobody deserves to feel the way I felt that day at 30,000 feet. A spark inside of me had been lit. A spark that grew bigger and bigger the more people that touched it. A spark that eventually turned into an inner fire, and Grace Upon Grace Project was born. A local nonprofit that provides diapers, wipes, and period products to community members so they can grow with grace and dignity. We are warriors of change that show up and loan our strength and our smile to those in need. We are a group of advocates who feel that we all have this innate purpose, a mission, an inner spark, whatever you want to call it, to make this world a better place. We are everyday community members that continue to show up so the single mom can buy both the diapers and the milk at the grocery store. We are everyday people that feel honored to be able to provide period products because of a single mom who can't buy them because her kids have needs like food and clothing and a roof over their head. Our very first distribution day, we only distributed 24 diapers and 30 period products. I was defeated. I questioned everything, but I was also reminded how much those diapers meant to the very first person we served. She was a 19-year-old pregnant girl living with her grandma. And then there was a mom that night that came who couldn't afford period products, but she was doing the best she could to make ends meet. What started in my basement is now housed in a 1,200 square foot warehouse. It's a space where we host monthly volunteer days where volunteers can come together to pack diapers, wipes, and customized period kits for members within our community. It's where we host distribution days when we not only serve the struggling moms and the single dads, but we also serve educators and nurses and people you would least expect to see asking for help. It is where we will distribute over 11,000 diapers next month and 1,000 period products. Sorry. It's a space where we pack first period kits for 5th graders. It's a space where we pack bulk period products for health clerks. So our students can not only stay in school, but can remain focused on learning instead of worrying where they can actually find a period product during the school day. This story isn't just about shame and period products, though. I am here to remind you that you all have a spark inside of you, too. It might be dimmed at times. Hell, it might even be burnt out. You might not know what it is, and it might change over time, and that's okay. But it takes one story and one experience to relight it. My story, my shame, at 30,000 feet, helped light my spark. A spark that brought Grace Upon Grace Project to light. A spark that creates change within our community, and a spark that will continue to create change. A spark that provides hope for those needing it the most in our community. Now it's your turn.